You're listening to The Practical Wealth Show with Curtis May.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Practical Wealth Show. And so it's just going to be you and me today, no guests. And I kind of want to recap today just a little bit about where I think the rubber meets the road when it comes to finance, which is cash flow management. And so so stay tuned to the end and the show notes. I'm going to put a link and I'm going to give you the flyer of what we call our personal economic model. So if you go to our website, practicalwealthadvisors.com, there's a video on there where I give an overview of the we call the Practical Wealth Money for Life program, which is an overview of, it's a model of how money flows through your personal economy. So when we're talking with our clients, if you've seen it, you'll hear me talk about yellow tank, which is the investment tank, versus the green tank, how to leverage your cash flow, collateral, how the house works. And so we can kind of build really simple explanations so that you can see your financial picture on one place. So we do it for people conceptually. Then I'll take people, if you're interested in this exercise called Retirement Ready or Not, I'll show you how numbers flow through your personal economy and help you figure out if you're on track or not. And then I actually can create the same model with your exact numbers on it if we go that deep. And so, but the flyer will help you follow along what I'm talking about. And I use it. I take notes on it. When we're talking to people, I give out it at seminars so that you can have a visual. I'm very visual. I'm old school. So I'm like, give me a whiteboard and I'm good to go. So, but real quick on a personal note, we just got back from the best vacation. It's kind of a work trip we've ever had. So we were at the Barmar resort in Nassau in the Bahamas, and one of the insurance companies I use that we use for to help people institute the infinite banking with my mentor Joe Pantozzi. We were a bunch of us from I'm affiliated with Alpha Mega Wealth. We're down in the Bahamas, so it was awesome. This resort is off the chain, and culminating with like a pirate costume party, open bar, great food, lobster steak. It was fantastic. My wife said it was like, it was better than she thought it was going to be. She wasn't sure what to expect, but it was a lot of fun. I was able to take our kids, and it's funny because I'm trying to. And one of my clients told me this, it's good that you're taking your kids because they need to connect the dots between work. So sometimes I might be on the phone. I might work from home, my home office, but I don't try not to do it that much. But let's say I'll talk to a client at 8 or 8:30 at night because they have a weird schedule and I want to accommodate them. And so sometimes we'll do that, or, daddy's always on the phone because I'm talking to you guys that call in that, want help. But we also made President's Club and, had some special receptions. And, I think I posted on our Facebook page, the result of working hard or something like that. And, it's good for your kids to see, all right, if there's cause and effect, like this was not an accident. I've been busting my butt, to make this happen so that I can create, opportunities to travel, whether I take them or better yet, when somebody takes you, it's all good, right? And so, but I want them to see that and, see the results. I saw a lot of advisors from around the country. You get the, like, so when I go to like industry events, to me, it's like going to basketball camp. Like my favorite vacation, you couldn't have anything I would rather do than spend 7 hours a day as a teenager playing basketball, watching basketball film, talking about basketball. I'm in heaven. Okay. And so that was kind of how these events are for me, because you get a chance to, you get one or two great ideas of people that are doing different things. It was funny because it's not like I was at the infinite banking think tank. So everybody there specialized in whole life and, But when you go to these company events, there's people that are into the managed money and universal life, which is for us a definite no. And but they're all very good. They're all making a lot of money. And it's funny how I'm going to do an episode on what I call typical advice versus prosperity economics. But I see how different that I think, and because see, most of it's people are pushing products and it depends on what you're trying to do. So we had a debate on index universal life versus whole life, and I with all these other people, I'm new, like I've only been here like 8 months, with the company. And I said, listen, it's not a question of which one is better or what's best for the client. This is best for the client. I couldn't say that though, because I'm very biased. But I said, listen, it's a question of accumulation versus utilization. So it's hard to win accumulating. So they believe in like yellow tank stuff because they'll have doctors that are making $500,000 a year and they'll just funnel them into managed money or because they make so much money, they got to save it somewhere. Right. And their business are built on that. Whereas I like working with people that are doing well, that want to do better, or people that are doing, let's say you're middle class. I think with my strategies, within 2 to 5 years, I can take you from middle to upper class. And if you keep working from upper class to affluent, and then you've got to make yourself rich, but you've got to learn certain strategies to that, and you've got to kind of unlearn all the stuff you think all that Dave Ramsey stuff, all of that, you need to save the verb of savings, but you can't, just save. You have to learn how to invest, but see, what do you invest in? Okay. And so let me start with that. So let me finish with one of the personal stories. So what happens is we also, April, so this is May. May is traveling. I'm investing in Curtis, going to a conference on advancing your reach on speaking and building a seminar business. And I have a master mentor program. So I'm going to be at work. I got like a 12-day work month, but we're still focused on growing our revenue. So you just got to become more efficient. So what can you learn from that, right? April was all about college stuff. So we had to visit all these colleges. My oldest daughter is a senior. So we're excited. She decided, I'll say we, right? We're all in, right? On Duke. So my daughter will be a freshman, yay, at Duke in the fall. And we're excited about the school. She'd gone to track camp there, about 4 years ago. So we were familiar with it. And I went to school in North Carolina. So I'm, very familiar with the area. But they wanted her, and you want to go where you want it and, get a good education. Also had the best offer. So that was nice too. And, but this journey, I just took a course on college planning that starts like, if you got kids in their 7th, 8th, 9th grade, you need to start thinking about positioning your money, looking in scholarships, looking into making sure you're doing SAT test prep. It's a whole thing. I'm going to get a guest on this stuff because you got to start way early. You think you start. You always need to start. I've got people that are funding policies. Their kids are 5 or 6 because we want to make sure by the time they go to college, they're going to have $50, $60, $80,000 available. Okay. And so you really need to be looking at that, and you don't want to have it stuck somewhere where if they don't use it for college, you're taxable, it's locked up. So you can only do one thing. I don't believe in creating multiple buckets. I need to have it in one bucket that I have liquidity, use, and control, i.e. my green tank, permanent life insurance. So that's a separate subject. But let's talk about cash flow management because, there's 2 rules. And this is where I saw I was different because most people think the key to growing their wealth is to find better investments that pay a higher rate of return. Okay. And that is one way, but the only way to do that is to take more risk. Okay. And so risk in my mind means probability of loss. So I take the opposite tack. And so when we're working with people, when we actually work with clients, this is what I say to people, if they ask me what I do, well, I'm in the financial services industry, but with the a kind of a different approach in that I believe there is more opportunity in helping our clients instead of trying to focus on trying to pick winning investments. I think there's more opportunity in actually helping our clients minimize the losses in their financial life than there is trying to pick the winners. And so what we work to do is help people free up cash flow and then take that found cash flow and help I want you to live the best life you can right now. So I want you to go on vacation. You ain't got to stop going to Starbucks. None of that stuff. I don't believe in that. And also we want you to be able to put, 20 to 30% of your money away for future lifestyle. Because right now there's a battle going on. So when money comes into your household, and when you look at the chart, we're going to say, current lifestyle and future lifestyle. Well, the war is going on. And so for most families, current lifestyle is winning. And so there's got to be a balance between the two. So most wealth is lost, number one, how people manage cash flow or don't manage cash flow might be more accurate. And number two is through wealth transfers, right? So you've probably heard me say, and I'll just repeat it here, that there's three types of money, right? So there's what we call lifestyle money. So that's where most money goes. Lifestyle, where you live, your mortgage. Like mortgage is a lifestyle choice. Because I want to pay off my house. Well, you're always going to have a mortgage expense. So I don't treat it as debt, even though it is debt, as much as a lifestyle expense. Because you're either going to pay a mortgage or you're going to rent. And it's imprudent to be trying to double down and get rid of the mortgage too soon. That can actually hurt you. I've done a couple episodes, and I just go back in the show notes. Maybe we'll link to them. And so you have to manage cash flow. You have to have a balance between putting the money away so that your future, I don't believe in retirement, but let's say when you want to move to passive income time, you have enough money if you look at the chart on the site, the yellow and green tanks, so that you can release the valves so that you can maintain your future lifestyle as you were while you were generating income, right? And so the key to that is, I don't actually think so. If you look at what you need to be saving, if your vehicle of choice is a 401k, I mean, it's going to take you 30, 40 years. And I will argue the math doesn't work. Like, if you want, let's say they'll give you 4%, that FINRA, if you're in the investment world, will allow you to show in withdrawal. It really should be more like 3, but let's say 4 or 5%, right? So that means if you have $1 million, people think that's a lot. Oh, I got $1 million in my 401k. Well, if you don't want to deplete your money, you can only pull out 4%. Well, 4% of $1 million is what? $40,000 a year. So that's what's that? Three something a month, $3,000, $3,500 a month, $4,000 a month. And 30, 40 years from now, but you're earning, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month now. So how are you going to live on less than that with the prices going up? See, so you have to think about inflation and all of those things, right? And because you're saving money, so we can think about this: you're saving dollars, monetary units called dollars. Well, the longer you hold them, what happens to the value? They go down, right? You got a fluctuating market that goes up or down on top of the fluctuating currency. And then, so let's say you have $1 million, $2 million. Well, what does that buy? What is the purchasing power of that $1 million? So you've got a lot of moving parts. Whereas I think you should, you want to look at net worth. I was at this guy from this other company. He's like, net worth, net worth, net worth. I'm like, dude, you can't eat net worth. I think that, guys, your focus needs to be on cash flow, and one of the things that, and I'll help you figure this out if you'd like to, just give us a call, is what does your life cost now? Have you ever sat down and figured out, okay, what does it take to keep the lights on for us to go on a vacation, to drive what we want to drive, to live where we want to live? What does that cost? See, you have to figure that out, because if you want to become financially independent, you've got to have what? Passive income greater than your expenses. So if you, right now, let's say it takes $6,000 or $7,000 a month to run your household, Well, if you want to become, quote unquote, you're financially independent, you need, let's say, $7,000 a month. Really, you should have twice that, just to be safe. But let's say you need $7,000, $8,000 a month flowing up from your asset column, from your investments. Jim Rohn says that financial independence is being able to live like you want to live from the income from your personally invested assets. So when you look on our chart, I always talk about the inflow pipe and the cash flow manager. And so one of the things that we use to help people gauge that, so you can do it manually. We actually help people sort this out. And but think about your money in buckets, right? And so let me finish this thought. 2 ways to grow wealth: manage cash flow and eliminate wealth transfer. So there's lifestyle money, there's accumulated money, money you have saved. Most financial advice is focused on cutting back lifestyle, or if you've got money in what I call the accumulation bucket, how much you got, well, we can do better. Well, why don't you move that money over here to us, right? And so when you're getting that type of advice, who is the only person whose money is at risk? That's right, yours, right? Because everybody's guaranteed to make money but you. But what if you could look at money you're losing unknowingly and unnecessarily, right? So, for example, if you have a job, 8 out of every 10 people, according to the IRS, has their W-4. That's the form that tells you how to, what's it called? How to, tell your employer how much to withhold. Well, how do you know it's wrong? You get a refund. Refund's not a good thing, guys. Okay. That means you're having your taxes overpaid, which is impacting your cash flow, which is why you can't save. So if you learn how to fill that out properly, and then you combine that with, starting some type of home business, even if you don't make money. Sandy Bakken has a book called Lower Your Taxes Big Time. And the first chapter in his book says, if you don't have a home-based business, you are brain dead. Like, that's literally part of his tax planning strategy. So we recommend that a lot. Find something that you like, an affiliate program, and then all of a sudden you can get involved in what you call income shifting and take things you already got to pay for and now begin to offset some of your high earned income. So that's one aspect. It's raising deductibles on stuff. It's restructuring how you pay your credit card. So we'll help people look at that. Whereas you're inefficient, as somebody they were paying about $3,000 a month in debt, credit card debt, right? But when we add it all up, I said, well, what's the minimum payments and how much did you overpay? So the overpaying was $3,000. The minimum payment was like $1,300, $1,100, I think, $1,100. So I says, well, all right, how about we do this? So I just used The Richest Man in Babylon. This stuff is basic, guys. And so if you're Richest Man in Babylon, one of the chapters is what I call the 10-20-70 rule, right? So if you 10% minimum to savings, 20% to eliminate debt, and then you live on 70% of what you bring home. And so it just takes discipline. And because if you just focus, let's put $1,000 away, let's double down, pay off all my debt, including my mortgage. Now I'm debt free. Now I can save, right? That's the kind of stuff you get from financial entertainers, but that does not take into account opportunity cost. The 10 years or 15 years you wasted getting rid of all the debt. You say, well, now I freed up $2,000 a month, so I can save that. But you'll never catch up. Even if you're only doing $300 or $400 on the front end, you won't catch up because you gave up 8 years, 7 years, 10 years, 5 years of compounding. And even if you are setting aside more money, you can't get back time. So you have to pay yourself first. Because if you just focus on getting out of debt, well, getting out of debt does not make you wealthy. Okay? All you did was transfer. That's when we got to transfer your wealth to the financial institution and allow them to get that money, create velocity, loan it back out, and create wealth using your money because they have you brainwashed into thinking you need to get out of debt. You need to pay your bills on time. You need to double up on your payments. Only thing you're doing is giving away your money for you before you've had a chance to put it to work for you and give it to somebody else because that's how you've been trained. See, most people don't get financial education. They get financial training, and the training basically says, give your money to us, right? So let's talk about in this short video, in this talk, I'm going to actually do a video on this whole process. So look for that. I'll post it on YouTube in a few days. And so we call this the bucket system. So picture your money. That's what I mean by finding out your life costs. So right now you've got the first bucket is what we call the fixed bucket or the static bucket. Okay. And so take your stuff and figure out what things, debt, memberships, utilities, things you have to pay. You can average out utilities, but if you got a business, I would do the same thing in your business, right? What does it take? But what does it take for the fixed stuff you've already committed, you obligate yourself to pay? Okay. And so if you're in debt, you understand debt is an obligation on future earnings. So you spent money you don't have yet. So they're using your future earnings as collateral, but you've committed that. So I was just working with somebody and what was her number? Like over almost 80% of her money was committed, right? And so the already prepaid for that was locked in, debts, just stuff that they'd obligate, $600-700 car payment, stuff they've obligated themselves to. And so now your second bucket, think about this. So that's 30-day money. So what you should do is have an account with no debit card associated with it. And then you pay your bills either manually, better yet electronically, so you can put all the stuff on automatic pilot. And you can't fool yourself. This is what you've got. So if you get paid twice, and if you're married, you should put that money, if it costs, your bills add up and it's $6,000 a month, y'all got to fund that account and put that on automatic pilot. So now you can see where your money's going. I don't care about budgeting. Budgeting doesn't work in the sense that it's tedious and you're not going to do it. So I want you to forecast. Okay. So now your second bucket, so that's your 30-day money. So you're going to get an account that you're going to put all of your bill pay. You're going to roll income into that. You're going to figure out what your life costs, and then you're going to allocate money to that account. Then we're going to savings on the top of that, right? Because you got to pay yourself first. So savings is an expense, right? So if you're making $5,000 a month, 10% of that is $500. 20% is $1,000. So you've got to save. Let's just take gross. Just keep it simple. I would probably do it net if you're an employee, but you should try for gross, right? So that means if you're making $5,000, you should save minimum of $500. Then you would allocate $1,000 of debt elimination and live on 70%. Now, if you can't do that, that's all right. That's your financials talking to you, saying that you're spending too much or you need to make more money. But you need to understand that and stop living in dreamland, okay? And so then your second bucket is lifestyle. So this is the bucket where, okay, now this is where you can have a debit card. So you got to figure out, okay, that's variable stuff, gas, groceries, shopping, going out to ball games, going out to happy hour. I don't care what you do with that money. Let's just figure out what it costs. So if you need, let's say every week you're going to get into a rhythm where you replenish that account every week or bi-weekly. And let's say you need $250 or $300 to get you from when you deposit money in that account, then that's the money that that's the money you use to get you from funding to funding. So if you're going to fund it on Saturday or Sunday, or then it's got to get you through to the following Saturday. And if you run out by Thursday, then it's ramen noodles, even though you have other money in other accounts. And so you might have to adjust it. But once you got it down, now okay, listen, because I want you to enjoy your life, but you got to save money. So really, if you save 20% of your income, I don't care what you do with the rest of it, honestly. And then but what you got to do is save that, and then you got to get control of your spending. See, that bucket right there is when people say, I don't know where my money goes. That's because they're out of control and they see money in their account and they just, let me give it here. Let's do this. I'm going to loan my child some money. I got to send money to them for school. You're not managing it. You're not forecasting it. So I'm going to show you in the third bucket. If you've got people to support, you're going to put that somewhere so that it's not a shock to your personal economy. You've already prepared for it, right? So then you have 7-day money. You fund that. You use your debit card to spend that money. And when if it's left over, then, okay, maybe you can spend a little bit more. You realize, okay, I still have $100 left over. I'll add that to my savings because now I have a good gauge of what I know exactly what my fixed bills are. I know what I can get through week to week with still a little money. So you can either, splurge and give yourself a little more lifestyle. But if you're trying to hit a goal, maybe use that money to apply extra on the debt snowball we're trying to pay down. Like the lady we had, she was paying $3,000. We dropped. I said, all right, look, why don't we, if your minimum payment is $1,200, why don't we cap that at like $1,500? You're going to save $500 a month. And so now I think that my strategy had her getting out of debt in 19 months or like 24 months or something like that with the same dollars that she was already spending and saving. So, she would have like, $10,000, $12,000 saved up and be out of debt. Okay. That's what you want. So you'll feel better. There's no use being debt free and broke because if you don't have any money, first time you get a new situation comes up, what do you have to do? You got to go out of debt. So you have no peace of mind because you don't have any money that's liquid, right? So you got to focus on the cash flow regulator, cash flow management. The third bucket is what I call your future bucket. So that's things like your emergency fund, 2 or 3 months of your bill money, which will break up in different places. That's, monies for car repairs, monies for gifting that you're going to do. If you've got to support an aunt or this and that, or your mom or whatever, and they need money, or you're sending money back to the old country, whatever, allocate for that. Okay. And then when it comes up, it's like, okay, well, I've already saved 20% of my income. All my bills are paid. I've got money for lifestyle. So I've got accounts. So this could be a savings account, a money market account. We tend to use the life insurance as our emergency opportunity fund, have some money in cash, what I call ATM money. But what you want to be able to do is to use your private reserve account to leverage your money to use it and then pay yourself back without breaking up compounds. Because my goal is every year I want your personal economy to move forward. So that's it. So what we're finding is that if you get on a rhythm of paying attention to where your money goes on the front end, so now you can drive money into savings now, because savings is critical because you're not saving to be saving. Think of savings as more storage. And while you're educating yourself, looking for plays to employ your capital, when you find something you like and understand, you have the money to do it, to invest, to create windfalls, to create new passive income so that you can do what? Save even more money. And so then you get into this flow of cash, asset, cash, right? And now you're getting to what I call a wealth cycle where every year you're getting better, you're getting more efficient, your passive income is rising. And that's what you want to do. So when I work with people, what I measure is your debt, non-preferred debt going down? Is your cash, your green tank going up? So you have more liquidity, use and control of your capital. And is your asset column sending you a check? And is that growing every quarter, every 6 months? Because you have to focus on it because that which gets measured gets done. Okay. So that's the thing. So what I want to end this talk with is really, and we're going to put some tools out there, but I want you to think about your cash flow. So you can't, because if you're running a business and you are running a business because you're the CEO of your life, could you stay in business very long if you didn't manage here's what I got coming in and here's what I'm spending? No, you couldn't. Well, you've got a personal economy. So you can't control, because economics, guys, you can't control the economy, but you can control your personal economy. And economics, I learned from our friend Jeffrey Reeves that it's from, and I always pronounce it wrong, from the Greek root economos, which basically means household manager. So you have to manage your household. That's what economics is. It's not this nonsense you see on TV and they think they're like the professor and the rules of the world. I mean, economics is more philosophy than science. It's not a science. Okay. It's managing your scarce resources. It's managing your budget so you can manage a budget surplus so that you can save, so you can buy assets. So what do you do with savings? You got to save your savings. You got 4 choices. You can save your savings. You can consume your savings. Bad idea. You can invest your savings. What can you invest in? What are the 4 asset classes? Business, real estate, paper, and commodities, or any combination of those 4. Okay. And, or you can lend your savings, which is a paper strategy, right? And so what you want to be able to do is figure out which of those, and it should be more than one, that you like, and you go to work with your firm eye on you becoming financially independent. And then once you're financially independent, you can go on to become rich. You can go from rich to wealthy. So there are stages, but you won't get there until you deserve it, until you work hard at getting better at turn. You work hard at growing your cash flow. How do you grow your cash flow? Get better at what you do so you can charge more for it and earn more money because you have a specialty. So I could have whole talks on the model. So I'm going to put a link to where you can download the personal economic model. And as I do lessons on this, you can use that and take notes on it so you can kind of get a visual, because we're in an audio medium. And I'm going to do some YouTubes, but if you get it that way, if you want to like listen to this and take some notes on that, and so you have a visual of what I'm talking about. So now once you've seen it, when I say yellow tank, you'll know, okay, we're Curtis talking about investing. So when I say, green tank, we know we're talking about saving strategies, and we'll talk about what idea goes where. So, if I talk to people, you've heard like previous episodes where I talked to Marco Santarelli or Liz and Terry Kerr from Mid-South Home Buyers, those are yellow tank opportunities. We're talking about turnkey real estate, or Jim Small from Sante Realty on syndications. That's a yellow tank. Or the life settlement episodes, even like Carrie Buck on the ATM blueprint, Chris Prefontaine. Those are all yellow tank things, but because a business goes in the yellow tank, right? And so because you have to generate more cash flow. Sometimes you have to spend some money to learn some stuff, but that is what moves the needle. You have to invest in yourself. Your number one asset is you. I'm going to do another episode on that because I'm going to tell you the personal experience. I've been testing that and this year, and it's really helped us grow our business, investing in myself in knowledge and this and that on purpose, like laying out my year, going, here are the things I want to learn, putting them on my calendar by the quarter. And here's the books I want to read. Here's the course I want to go to. Here's the events I want to go to. And I have been seeing a direct correlation in revenue of our business doing that. And that is easy to do. You just have to be intentional about what you're doing. Then you have to manage your cash flow. You've got to put money aside, and you've got to stay focused on your goals of becoming financially independent every day. Okay. Now, every other day, every day. Look at your goals every day. So, guys, without this short, it was longer than I meant to go, but this short, long lesson. So, remember, if you like to, go into how this works, go to our website and just click for a complimentary consultation. Let's talk. Let's show you how to integrate the cash flow management into your personal economy, integrate cash flow management to help you start building your banking system with specially designed dividend-paying whole life insurances. What we specialize in, even though I'm always interviewing other people, folks. That's what I do. Okay. And for people. But what I want you to be able to do is I want to educate you, get you manage your cash flow, get you saving money, getting you learning how to do research, because, it's your money. It's not Curtis's money, right? So all I'm going to do is make you prepared, give you the tools to research and separate good stuff from bad stuff, or stuff that doesn't meet your criteria or your risk tolerance or what have you. And so that you know to ask the right questions. And then when you see something that you like, Curtis wants to make sure the money's there for you to do it. That's all. And so listen, go out there and be prosperous. Enjoy the rest of your day. We're coming into the close next month of the second quarter. And how are you doing? with regards to your goals. Are you looking at that? Are you paying attention? I had a goal to read 2 books a month. I think I'm a little bit ahead of that. I had conferences I wanted to go into of stuff I wanted to learn. So you've got to stay focused and break your year down in 90-day chunks. Okay. You want to have a good quarter, you got to have 3 good months. You want to have 3 good months, you got to have 4 good weeks. And you want to have 4 good weeks, you got to have 5 or 6 good days. And so you have to be intentional. Don't just wander around and let stuff happen. You have to drive the car. Don't let it drive you. So guys, go out there and make it a prosperous day. Thank you for listening to the Practical Wealth Show. Please listen, like, and share.
Thanks for listening to Practical Wealth. To access the show notes and resources, go to practicalwealthshow.com. To get your questions on the show, go to practicalwealthshow.com. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before you make any investment decisions, consult a professional. This show is copyrighted by Practical Wealth. Written permission must be granted before syndication or rebroadcasting.